Xabi Alonso shockingly leaves Real Madrid and Nigeria through to the semifinals of the AFCON. Welcome back to another episode of Ball IQ Podcast. Tolu, very disappointed Real Madrid fan. And
Nelson, Chelsea fan, Nigeria fan. Why you wearing black, bro?
hey, man, listen, you know why I'm wearing black.
I know, I know.
Today is the day after the Clasico loss. And I texted you. I was going to rip Xabi Alonso's head in this episode, but he did it himself. And I have to respect that, right? I have to respect that. Thoughts on the news when it came out that he left?
We had just spoken, if not 12 hours prior,
Yep.
about the impermanence of his position and how it had become untenable. As you had mentioned, it too many big game results that have gone against him. At Real Madrid, you are expected to manage the team, not coach and
Coach the team.
instill tactics and whatnot. It's a classic case of a coach trying to do that, and it'll never work at Los Blancos.
No,
So,
it would not work. And I mean, I'm always reminded of what Carlos said. His job is pretty much to get the team to the final third and just go cook.
mhm.
But let's get into the Clasico. It was a very interesting Clasico for the Super Cup final in Saudi Arabia. Um, Ni I was going to say Nigeria, but Real Madrid were quite negative. They started on paper it was a 4-4-2. However, like because they had less of the ball, I think Barcelona had double the passes that they did, and the possession was think it was 70-30 on average. But because Barcelona had more of the possession, it forced Madrid into a back five with Valverde tucking in here and uh Asensio as the right center back, Tchouaméni in the middle, Huijsen coming in as left center back, and Carreras as the left wing back, which left the midfield of Jude and Camavinga in the middle. Rodrigo was playing like left mid while Vinny was playing left forward. Gonzalo Garcia was playing up top, leaving this right wing for the legs of Valverde to go back and forth and back and forth. And for um, Barcelona, they did the opposite. Where when I said the opposite, Real Madrid leaving like their right side for Valverde, Barcelona left their left side for Balde. So
Mhm.
Rafinha on paper was starting on the left, but he was pretty much another 10, playing like around here in the left middle, Lewandowski up top. I'll use this as Fermin Lopez playing as a right 10, um, De Jong sitting and Pedri playing the 8 on the left side channel. Lamine doing what he does on the right. Kunde, who got cooked by Vinicius multiple times. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
I like ran it back. I was like, who was that?
It was like it was bad. But back pairing of Kubasi and Eric Garcia, and like I mentioned, Bao, they just had the whole left channel to go one on one with Valverde. Now, the reason why I was very upset with Alonso is one, this was very negative, right? It allowed Barcelona when they had the ball to build up quite easy from the back because they outnumbered. I mean, Real Madrid only had one, two, sometimes Rodrigo, three players pressing one, two, three, four, five, six players. So they're always going to lose that battle. So Barcelona could just easily progress to the let me bring in the ball just to they could easily progress to the final like Real Madrid's half or third easily because there's just not. many people that can deal with their passing, especially how well they pass. So
Mm.
I was disappointed in that one. Two, how criminally unused Jude was. Jude had a bad, like Jude doesn't have bad games. Like Real Madrid will have bad games. Jude does not have bad games. Jude had a bad game today because he was just doing a lot, running back and forth, not a lot of possession on the ball that like he would like. Him and Camavinga were kind of isolated in the middle. Um, the game plan was to get the ball as fast as possible to Vinny and Rodrigo on the left because Lamine Yamal is not going to come back and they can double up on Kunde here. And I mean, there are chances that Vinny had in the first half. Gonzalo Garcia was through on goal as well in the first half, but uh, the fact that we went in halftime at 2-2 was what's that word I'm looking for? It flattered
A,
us.
a blessing,
It was a
generous.
yeah, generous. It was
Yeah.
very generous. It flattered us a lot. Second half were a little better, but again, this setup is not, it was just too negative. Um, I felt like if we were a little bit more ambitious. Barcelona were, I mean, defensively, they haven't been great this season. They've had a decent defensive record last 10 games, maybe it's post Chelsea, but they hadn't faced anybody in post Chelsea, like really. So they didn't really have um tests, and I felt like we could have given them a test and we just didn't. I'll let you speak before I go into the substitution.
No, yeah, it was a great game to watch, I'd say from the 40th minute onwards. I
Yeah.
thought we were, I thought it was all hotting up for a really entertaining and comparable second half. It chilled out considerably, but I mean, in terms of tension, and it was a Clasico. I mean, it got a little bit more aggressive in that second half. I honestly thought that Real was going to nab another one. Madrid was going to nab another one, but um, it just wasn't meant to be. Um, every goal that we saw in that first half, that first like five or that last 5, 6 minutes was box office. I can't imagine. Is that the first game that they played in Saudi
Who? No,
for
no,
La
no.
Liga?
I mean, it's a Super Cup. They've been playing it in Saudi for the last 5 years now.
Last 5 years?
Yeah,
Okay, never mind then. I would say that's the type of game you'd like to see.
yeah, for sure.
Instead of it not being, there being excuses about, oh, we can't play to this level. I felt everybody showed up. It was very, it was an entertaining third party Clasico if you're just
Yeah,
watching just for entertainment purposes, which I was doing that evening or that afternoon. So.
yeah, for sure. And I think, I mean, they're lucky because I think I have to look into this, but it's pretty much usually a Real Madrid Barcelona final, so they are almost certain to see a classical there. But one thing I also wanted to mention in the setup is because we were playing three in the back and two, just Jude and Camavinga in the middle. Not just where Barcelona weren't just able to build up and come to our final third easy. Either one of Camavinga, not Camavinga, excuse me, Chouameni or Dean Huyson were always free. So like if you're a center back and we have three center backs and you're free, and neither one of you is stepping up to like help in the midfield to kind of like beef up the numbers, then you're just waiting to be attacked. And I'm surprised because in the Club World Cup, Xabi Alonso, I think I remember the game against Juventus where how he used Tchouaméni, where like if he will pass on the striker to like either of the center backs and step into the midfield, then go back when necessary. Tchouaméni did not step up at all, and I don't know why he was instructed not to. But onto these subs. First of all, last episode, Sean was asking where I think we would be without Mbappe, and I went on my thoughts and positionally how he hurts us and things of that nature. Um, I understand bringing like you're losing a classical, and you're bringing your best player even though he's not fit in to try and save something. You mentioned the goals with box office. Vinicius was on a poor run of form. He hadn't scored in like 16 games. He scores that goal. Before that goal, every time he got the ball, Sunday was like, please, I'm begging you.
I
Just
have a family.
I have a family. I got kids. Every single time he got the ball. So he was obviously feeling it. Like you can tell, like you're a Chelsea fan. You can tell. I mean, Paul Palmer is always feeling it, but you can just tell when ball to feet. You can just tell, like, okay, this guy is up for it. Vinny was up for him from the jump. You take him out. You need a goal. You bring in Mbappe. You take him out for Mastantuano. Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? The last time you took him off in a classical, okay, I understand we're 2-1 up, right? We're 2-1 up, okay. Like you're trying to like, bring somebody that can run back and all that stuff. Okay, fine. But you need a goal. And you're taking him off? Like, and it's
Yeah.
not as if he was playing poorly. Maybe you like as a third party can help me understand, please. Just because I'm lost for words.
It's frustrating for sure, but as a third party looking in at Madrid, I know that this was always going to be an issue. The Vinny versus Mbappe power struggle there's always going to be an issue in my opinion, in terms of positionally and how the team is playing through one another. I haven't really, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't really seen a cohesion between the two of them yet. I'm not saying there's not a lack of trying, but it's usually one goes, one shining, the other one isn't type of thing. Obviously, the very petty remark that Diego Simeone made in regards to Vinicius's future,
Mhm.
toward just with in light of Mbappe's existence, so it's frustrating to see that not happen yet, and that's something that I'm sure Xabi Alonso is probably kicking himself looking back on, not being able to getting that chemistry going between the two of them. But to see them one go off and the other come on, and the other one honestly be out of you know, n nursing an injury and also not really in. I mean, Gonzalo Garcia has been playing. You know, it's almost not a blessing. It's never a blessing to be injured, but just to take off some of the heat. Um, it can be nice to have the B striker come in and tear it up while you're injured. And you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a nice pass.
That's a nice pass. That's a nice
But
pass. Our American listeners will know that reference.
yeah,
But
that's,
yeah. But
but yeah,
yeah.
no, it's definitely frustrating to see that.
Yeah, very frustrating. And I was thinking like I don't know. I mean, maybe Arda is probably the only player, Adagula, probably the only player I can point to that would be like, okay, I enjoyed this guy as the manager because I haven't in Real Madrid, I didn't play it as much under any under Ancelotti, but when he came, I played more. But like he devalued Rodrigo. Rodrigo just kind of like started coming back to form last what 5, 6 games, whatever it was. He devalued Vinny. Vinny has refused to um sign a new contract because of him. Like there's nobody that can point to like, okay, you know what? Xabi Alonso made this guy a better player. I can't point to one person. He gave okay, well, I'll give to be fair, I'll give him Gonzalo Garcia. I'll give him that because there was one out of necessity, right? Because both times the Club World Cup, Mbappe was hurt, so he had to play. And then now recently as well, Gonzalo was hurt, he had to play. He treated Endrick like he didn't exist. Endrick is out on loan. Like he's devaluing the club and not performing.
I think it's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Nah, he
Uh,
should. Okay, maybe not. Sorry. I'm still the
My,
most.
yeah, as you should be. But in my opinion, I think that, Gonzalo Garcia was having a moment. He definitely improved his play. But the main stars, no, not at all. Missed the mark, and then the other like impact players that kind of filled in were literally just doing bits, like you were saying yesterday. They were playing like just moments of brilliance were saving this guy,
Yep.
when it comes down to it. But I feel like I saw a little bit more of Arda Güler under Xabi Alonso,
Yeah.
more of a feature, more of what we know he can do for country, for club. Um, but yeah, on the whole, I just think it's a bit unfair just because of what, like 14, no, less than 14, 14 months was Man United. Pardon me. This is like 9 months. This is less than a baby, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I think it's not easy to really implement it's not easy.
Last thing I'll
What's
say. Last thing I'll say to close the topic for me is that's a long time for Real Madrid, right? And two, watching the game, I know people said, okay, he got to the finals of the Supercopa, is still in the top eight of the Champions League, and is 4 points off the leaders. So like it was harsh, but I'm telling you, watching Real Madrid, we had dropped points in our future, in our near future. Like it wasn't like a convincing team. I'm like, this team is going to drop points very soon.
Mm.
So I'm not. I'm definitely not unhappy with him leaving. I'm being honest with you. I told you, I mean, like I said, I was going to call for his head in this episode if he didn't resign already. I didn't see him resigning, but I was glad that he did. I feel bad for him. You mentioned something in the beginning, like he was trying to coach, um, and Real Madrid, we need a manager. So he's just not him yet. Um, but I still do feel bad for him because like managing the Eagles, like I don't know if you saw the video of him trying to give Barcelona a guard of honor, and Mbappe was like, nah, nah. Mbappe Rodrigo was like, nah, nah. I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-mm.
So he was, first of all, as a Real Madrid manager, after a Clasico loss, right, in a final, why do you want to give a guard of honor for Barcelona?
Like in
And
between the players.
yeah, like
Mm.
literally a guard.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Mbappe and Rodrigo were like, nah, like we're not doing that. And I think that was the last straw for him. And he left. He wasn't sacked. He left. And I think that was probably smart. So now Abelor is our new manager now. And I think that he has the chance to do better because he was the La Fabrica coach, was doing well. He obviously is a player too for Real Madrid, but like he's been coaching at Real Madrid, so maybe he would understand the culture a bit well. Um, but Arbeloa will still face the problem of getting the team to be balanced and to gel and getting either Mbappe or Vinny, more Mbappe, to play more central and create that threat down the middle.
Tough challenge mid-season. But all to play for really. It's like you mentioned though, tough fixtures on the horizon. So I'm interested to see how it plays out for real.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's recap. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Last thing I was gonna say, I'm bummed that Liam Rossignol had a good debut game this past weekend.
That's what I was gonna ask you next.
But if we had just waited 3 weeks, we would have had the ability to interview this guy.
Mm,
I do think he's gonna land on his feet, Xabi Alonso, wherever he goes. It could be a prem job. It'll be his choice wherever his next move is. I think
mm.
it's just a little bit upsetting that y'all have you both dirtied each other's white shirts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
so
I would say
that's football.
Yeah, that's football. I'll say we didn't really. I don't think we dirtied each other's white that much because again, he got to the Club World Cup semifinals, 4 points behind Barcelona, his first big job. Um, and he wasn't able to cut it. I mean, Benitez, who else? Like that, a it's not a bad thing to not be able to cut it at Real Madrid this early at your career. It's not like it's difficult. You just
Tell
need
that to
different stuff.
Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. Like this is, I mean, Zidane is like, exception to the rule. But what I'm saying is like it's not a bad thing to not to fail at Real Madrid the way he did. Not he didn't like fail flat and he were a sixth or seventh.
Mm,
He failed reasonably well for somebody his pedigree. So I agree with
yeah,
you.
it was.
He would
Yeah.
land in his spot. But you bring up your manager. I was gonna um ask you what you thought about, his first game as Chelsea head coach, be it against who it was in the FA Cup, but talk to me. How was that?
Played against Charlton.
Hmm.
Um, just was really proud of the team because I think there were 10 different 10 different changes from the last game that we had against Fulham. Um, I was nervous by the lineup, but also motivated because new manager bounce, everybody's got a new belief in them. Um, Played very well. Everybody played very well. 5-1 in the FA Cup at this round is impressive, but I'm not about to go crazy about it. I think it was more so an indictment that the spine of the team is on board with this new manager. And to see great performances from the youth that we were playing. So I think Joao Hato is the first person who scored. Um, Kicked it off. It was a vintage Chelsea fullback score or goal, excuse me. Reminded me of like Marcus Alonso in terms of the venom that this lad hit the ball with.
Hmm.
Some really good goals
Wilson
from
score?
some. Tosin scored a like Drogba-esque header. It was everybody kind of stepped up and was like, okay, we were in the doghouse before with Enzo Maresca because Enzo Maresca, good coach, but very, very tactically rigid. And once you're out, the only person I've seen defeat the doghouse was Trevor Chalobah, and I don't even think that was Enzo who did it, Maresca. I think it was, I think the board intervened. So, because we weren't going to buy a center back, we just brought him back. So, uh, a lot of players who I would say weren't getting chances. I think Josh Achapong had a bad game against Liverpool in September. He was pretty much banished from um, minutes. We were playing anybody but Josh for weeks. So it's good to see him playing right back. Um, This was a pairing of Caicedo and Andre Santos. Again, one of the things that were rumored about Enzo Maresca and the board and Chelsea and the departure was just the lack of play time for Andre Santos, the lack of belief that he was ready. This is again, Charlton. I'm not saying this is Arsenal. We're about to see
Yeah.
on Wednesday
On Wednesday.
what really he's made of. But it was a great game to, like I said, to see that Caicedo Santos pairing just kind of boss the midfield uh, throughout the game. So I
Yeah.
was pleased.
That's good.
I think one of the things that I saw that might be of interest in terms of new manager, new um, you know, new opinion of the player. I heard that Nico Jackson might come back. I know Liam Delap again played for Liam Rossignol at Hull City,
Yeah.
more so on the left. Um,
I mean,
so
that makes sense playing the lap on the left in the championship because of his profile.
mhm. Obviously, it's the championship I was about to mention. But the thing about Chelsea right now is we still don't have a left winger, for lack of a better word. Gittins had a great cameo in this Charlton game. played very well. But I think he might have played on the right uh, for the game. I'm not positive. I, because yeah, I think he played on the right.
Mm.
But either way, he played very well. We don't have a like odds on or locked in left winger. Um, Misha Mudryk is probably not coming back. So it's we'll see what plays out there with what Liam wants to do, who's his go-to guy on the left. But if Nico Jackson were to come back and the lap was playing on on the left or vice versa, um, I don't know. I kind of missed the link up play that we were seeing from Cole Palmer and Nico Jackson, to be honest, to be fair.
Yeah. I was gonna say when you said Liam, I'm like, what? I was like, oh yeah, two Liams. I was so
It's,
confused for like half a second.
we went
But
from two Enzos to two Liams.
yeah. Well, that's good. Good stuff. Think good test for him to against Arsenal in a couple of days. Staying in the FA Cup, United crash out at home to Brighton. Danny Welbeck, their former player, sends them packing. And City like just went to practice. And was it 9 or 10?
And I sent you
10.
the silver score. It
Yeah.
was like four
Plus
plus six
6.
goals.
But Semenyo apparently had a good debut. Speaking of high scoring games, Bayern also won 8-1 against Wolfsburg. That's surprising. And last thing I was going to well, what second to last thing I was going to mention was big game at in Italy, Inter Napoli 2-2. Like Italian league is I've always said I love the Spanish league, I love the Premier League, but Italian league might be my guilty pleasure because when the big boys link up, it's always cinema. Like they never disappoint, and this game didn't. Inter is now leading that league by 3 points. Um, and the last thing I was going to mention was or bring up is I saw news about the details of Hendrick's loan to Lyon. He scored on his debut, first start, first goal, and apparently there's the loan deal is crafted in a way that ensures him game time. So the more he starts for Lyon, the less they have to pay in loan fee. And if they play him, I think it's 20 or 25 games, start him 20 to 25 games, they don't have to pay Real Madrid anything. So they get a
Hmm.
player for free, and Real Madrid and Endrick get win because he's developing, and I think that's a very, very um, player centric way of doing business, and I thought that was cool. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times Chelsea's loaned the player out the door, and then the player's gotten there and they haven't been used the way that we thought they would be.
Hmm.
Andre Santos being one of them. We loaned him out to Nottingham Forest
You
under
did?
yeah, when he first came, we signed him and then we loaned him immediately to Nottingham Forest under oh, why am I blanking?
You know?
Nuno. And Nuno was like, "Hey, just to let you know, I'm not developing your talent." Like no games, none. And we were like, "Bro, like what? Like he like is it personal?" And he's like, "No, no, no. I think he's a lovely man, a lovely kid. He's gonna have a great, bright future, but I'm not just gonna give him a free ride." So it is cool to see an innovative deal that kind of favors the club. Um, Usually it's the opposite, where the more you play him, the more you have to buy him
Yeah,
now.
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was cool. That's class from Real Madrid doing that. Um, let's go to AFCON real quick. Super Eagles in the semifinals. I'll throw some stats at you. Um, all four managers of Nigeria, Morocco, Senegal, and Egypt are African. And um, the la the African Player of the Year since 2017 are featured in all the semifinals. So Mo Salah, Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen, Sadio Mane and Hakim. Um, why is his name Hakimi?
Ashraf.
Ashraf Hakimi. I'm like, why is his name escaping me? Ashraf Hakimi all feature all in the semifinals, and lastly, all big boys. I think Morocco is the only team that hasn't won it before. Um, but like it's not surprised that in semi. So thoughts. You can start with the Super Eagles, of course.
I mean, it's hotting up. This was supposed to be the test game, as we discussed with Shane. Um, uh, we passed the test. Um, Alexander Iniesta. I mean, Iwobi had
Exactly.
another insane game.
I'm
You know,
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting you. You
it's.
have to give him his flowers because you've been calling for this.
I mean,
So please touch on that for us, please.
I listen. I need to see pay dirt. I need to see trophies. So if he does what John Obi Mikel did, or Mikel John Obi, wherever you're from, um, if he does that, like at least for the club, I want trophy silverware, especially after what happened. Not,
A year
yeah,
and change ago. Yeah.
yeah, what we just saw. Yeah, I need to see proof of concept. Having said that, I am very proud and very happy to see him play in a way that um is just it's emblematic of the pedigree that he comes from, number one. I mean, and number two, uh, yeah, like it's not a club. Usually he's playing that way for his club, whether it be Everton or Fulham or Arsenal, wherever he was playing. Um, and it was against my club that he would play. He would have a moment, just a random moment of brilliance. And then for our country, he would just be like a five, like a six out of 6.5 out of 10. What we're seeing now is generational. Like it's like 7 to 8, really not misplacing a pass, breaking the lines, progressive passes, the pass before the pass.
He's had like
Um,
4 or 5 of those, or 6 of those.
yeah, nuts. So we pray for his health and um, long life and prosperity.
And prosperity.
Eat,
Um,
eat.
hooray. Nah, like, yes, I echo everything you said. I think this was supposed to be test. We passed in flying colors. Akko Adams should have put us a goal up. He should have scored like a hat trick. He hit the post afterwards. Like that 2-0 actually flattered them. It could have gotten ugly.
Mm.
They hadn't conceded, I don't believe, until that game. In the tournament because there was all talk about Lucas Zidane. Um, not conceding, and I know his pops is my goat, but nah, you're gonna have to hold this fade. Um, it was very impressive. I saw there's this guy that talks about Nigerian football on Instagram, Simo BK, I think, uh, and he mentioned I was listening to him and he mentioned a point, and I'm like, he's right. Like he was like, for the first time. We are watching Nigeria. No blood pressure, no
Mm.
calculator, no, no like mental. Like if we score one and Algeria make 2 tackles, we might go. No, none of that. It was just pure football, and we're like always the better team every time, and we're like just convincingly moving through each stage. So it's very, very impressive to see. Morocco, obviously, again, like Brahim Diaz is just I, he's so I hope they're testing him after every game at this point because he's
Mhm.
just like I'm like, yo, relax. Scored in every game, every single game, this tournament so far. Senegal, like we mentioned last week, they're always going to be there. And Egypt beating Cote d'Ivoire was a surprise for me, but Salah doing his thing there with a goal and I believe an assist. Yeah, an assist for a nice header. So who I need predictions. What do you Senegal, Egypt is a replay of the two finals ago. Um and of course Nigeria, Morocco. Thoughts?
Um, Nigeria, Morocco. It's in Morocco, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's, their hosts.
Something we have some experience with. It's coming around early, as of last year, as of last tournament.
Hmm.
It's going to be a tough environment, but
Yep.
I think we should be able to edge past them if we continue to play the way that we've been playing. Um, I pray. I think that that would be my prediction on that side of the bracket. In
Hmm.
terms of Senegal versus Egypt,
Egypt.
I just think that um, Senegal's just more of a complete team. Um, they just play a little bit more well together, all together, I'd say.
Hmm.
It's just a well more oiled machine. Um, I'm kind of shocked that you know, I was having a conversation with my friend who's from Cote d'Ivoire before
Hmm.
the tournament really started, and I think last week we were even saying we think they're were one of our
Strong.
favorites,
Yeah.
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 But anything can happen in this tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, again, like I said, um it was a bit shocking that they lost to Egypt. But again, like I'm with you. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where we're underestimating Egypt, but they just know how to like I think it's just a North African style of play. I mean, apart from Morocco, but Algeria, Egypt, Tunisia, those guys, once they take the lead on you, you're finished.
Mm.
You are finished. So I think I slightly favor Senegal and Nigeria, Morocco. Obviously, I'm biased there. I'll say Nigeria, but the thing tactically, the thing that I guess we have to think of is Morocco's right wing versus our left wing. So, um, yes, we have Bruno playing as our left back, and we don't play our left wing. We don't play a left winger, but we play Iwobi as left center back. Um, and for Morocco, Brahim and Hakimi are on that wing.
Mm.
So Bruno and Iwobi will be very, very, very busy tracking that play. I don't know whether that takes away from what Iwobi has been doing for us. So it'll be a battle of who's I guess whose tactics dominate. So because
Yeah.
on the flip side, Brahim and Hakimi would have to work against those two. And Hakimi specifically because he won't have anybody going directly at him. Sometimes it might be Akko Adams, sometimes it might be Lukman, sometimes it might be Iwobi. So like just that uncertainty is not necessarily the best thing for a defender. Like who's my guy?
Yeah.
So again, interesting, but again, the way we played Algeria, again, Morocco is stronger and Morocco is at home. The way we played Algeria or playing Algeria will give us like some like a taste of what we should expect against Morocco. And we passed that test with Mahrez and on that side, but Brahim has been playing much better and he's in his prime. So looking forward to it. Wednesday as well. Hopefully, we make it to the final. So so you say Senegal, Nigeria final. That's what I say too. And Nigeria
Mm.
to win it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so because next time I mean, we record, the final will happen. So, um,
That game's Wednesday.
the semifinal is Wednesday, right?
So I have just let me just is that Arsenal, Chelsea, and
Yep, yep.
no, wow.
Arsenal, Chelsea. Is that oh, actually, it's not the same. Well, actually, they play at the same time. 3 o'clock
No,
Eastern.
no, no, no.
Arsenal, Chelsea, 3 o'clock Eastern, Nigeria, Morocco.
No way.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Yep.
It's a
So
split screen situation. And
split
Wednesday's
screen.
typically my in-office day at work, so I'm just gonna have to cut out at 3.
Yeah, but
Where'd Nelson go?
just like going. I'm working from home, so I'll have them like around me as I work. So,
Simulcast. Nice.
um, but yeah, that's the recap. Anything you wanted to mention before we go to goal of the week, player of the week?
Um, no, just excited to see what the new manager does. It's going to be a
Mhm.
lot more exciting, dynamic football. Um, Different than Enzo Maresca in a number of ways. Um, you know, I'm really excited, but also nervous because this is a big test coming up. We've gotten the bad luck of the draw in the FA Cup for I think, a couple of years now in a row. So, and bad luck of the draw, I just mean we haven't had any favors. We'll get a big boy team typically in the quarterfinal, the semifinal. Typically, it's City that we will meet, and they will just go tell us to go chop rice and so,
Yeah. But yeah,
um,
it'll be good for I guess not just you, for all of us to know what to expect from Rosinha.
mhm.
Um,
Big game.
big game. All right, goal of the week. This is probably the only thing I'm excited about as a Real Madrid fan because Fede Valverde scored a screamer against Atletico, and Vini scored that goal against Barcelona. I threw in Aqua Adams' goal against Algeria because of the teamwork, Iwobi's pass to Osimhen's layoff to Aqua Adams. Aqua Adams rounds the keeper, Lucas Zidane, and slots it in. It was a nice team goal. But it's really between Fede and Vinny, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I mean those both those goals were nuts. Um, Fede bangers only Valverde. Um, and then Vinny, I feel like dreams every time he gets the ball, that's what he dreams of doing. This was the one time, not the one time, but this is the time that it happened on the biggest stage against the biggest opponent in a very big moment. Um, the audacity. Um,
That's Kunde, Kunde that he meant, not just any man. That's
yeah,
Kunde that he meant.
cooked, cooked, cooked,
He got
cooked.
the ball. Yeah,
Multiple people cooked.
he got the ball from the just after the halfway line. There's a period where if you watch the highlights of the game or the game, there's a period where when he got the ball, you saw 4 or 5 Barcelona shirts and just him, no other white shirt, and ends up in the goal. Yeah, that was 16 games no goal for Real Madrid, and he does that. And guess who was not on the pitch while he does that? Anyway, I digress. So Vinny's goal of the week, right?
Yeah.
Um, Player of the week, Osimhen did his thing. Especially after like all eyes on him after the bust up, on the on-field bust up, and he his act of petulance. I think we all agreed that he shouldn't have done that, but we still backed him like, okay, yeah, don't don't do that again. But you're playing next game, and he played and he delivered. The team chemistry looks back. Good, good all-round play, goal and assist. Pedri did his thing again, both games against Bilbao and Madrid. Rafinha just loves a classical, man. Like that dude. Honestly, in classicals, as good as what's his name? Yamal
Mm,
is Rafinha, I fear in
yeah.
classical.
I just every time I see him, I just say Leeds
Please.
United because he was. I now know what type of player he is. I don't think maybe he would ever actually come to Chelsea, but we offered Leeds the money. We told him we actually I think offered a little bit more than. Barca, and obviously we offered to pay today, not in 15 years. And Leeds was like, yeah, Chelsea, I mean, this money cleared my account. They have good credit, like like and but I think he chose Barca because I mean,
He's
he backed
hot.
himself, and it's, that's obviously it's a South American player.
Hmm.
There big ties, mob ties to that club, and to see him balling out of control the way that he does on a regular basis in a different league is humbling, because um he was almost discarded. He left Leeds by because they went down, but nobody from the big four were really begging for his signature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone
So
said, no, you can go. It's crazy.
it's crazy.
But that's
Uh,
I would say, from what I saw,
yeah. Player of the week. Okay.
nuts.
I think a close second is Osimhen, but I agree with you. I think I mean, he just started the season injured, so didn't play the first Clasico that they lost. He came back. I remember I watched his first game back. He didn't miss a beat. He just he didn't even feel like, oh, let me just get my touches in. He just came in and just I'm like, yep, all right. Rashford, you gotta sit down. You gotta sit down. You gotta sit down. The fact that he did Rafinha still wasn't in the FIFA Pro 11, fifth Pro
Mm.
11 was also a slap in the face. I don't understand, but yeah, player of the week, Rafinha, congratulations. That's enough talking about um upcoming fixtures, like we mentioned, Chelsea Arsenal is coming up in a couple of days for a time of recording. AFCON semis and final coming up as well. And the Manchester Derby is on Saturday. Um so like that's what the semis is two games, the final, three games, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester. That's like five, six, including the third place playoff of the AFCON, six big games to watch in like 4 days. So lots of football to look forward to, and it'll be very, very. I think we'll have to talk about which one we want to focus for IQ deep dive.
Yeah, we have you know, well, here's a guess for our listeners and for you. What game do you think is going to be the best? I mean, they all have like big ticket energy, but what do you think is the game of the week?
AFCON final.
You think, well, not the so is the AFCON final going to happen before we record again?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess that's easy. I was saying semifinal, like the semifinal, Arsenal versus Chelsea and the City game. What do we think is going to be the best of the three? You can include
I,
both
I
semifinal games.
I think if it's that's hard to tell. I think the best way to do it is to separate them.
Mm.
Um, between the Chelsea Arsenal game and the Manchester Derby, definitely Chelsea Arsenal. I think given the last time they played was 1-1, I think in terms of quality, Chelsea and Arsenal are not like around the same. I think United, again, going back the last time that they played City, they got smacked. So definitely out of those two, Chelsea, Arsenal, definitely. But the AFCON semifinals, Nigeria, Morocco, because of how Senegal and Egypt play, I think my guess would be that that game will be low scoring or like more cautious. Senegal, Morocco. I mean, Nigeria, Morocco have been playing some the best in the tournament. So them playing, you would think would yield a great game. So spin both competitions. I'll say Chelsea, Arsenal, and Nigeria, Morocco.
Fair, fair. 'Cause I like that. I like that. Those
Yeah.
are my two favorite teams in the world.
Yeah. So again, we'll talk all. I mean, you guys can let us know which one you'd like us to focus on the next episode. But Or maybe we can do two AFCON special separate and then a regular episode with either the Chelsea Arsenal game or the Manchester City game.
Yeah.
So we can do that. So we'll discuss that. But um, that's it. Any parting words for our listeners? By the way, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with us thus far. Nelson, close us out.
Like, subscribe, follow. Let's make London blue again. Blue.
And make Africa
Um,
green.
make it green. Um, yeah, let's see some good footy.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Appreciate you all per usual. Catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.